tell you once, I'm gonna tell you twice. Just like I told my wife last night. I'm coming. Just like that Coke 9000, baby. I'm telling you, I'm coming. When I'm in there from the back and she looked back at me, I want you to know I'm coming. When she on top and I say, get off, because I'm coming.
We here, and give me my darn theme. I'm upset.
No disrespect, respectfully. But disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans, poor little girl them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, the other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? You are now live with the Maze Madman. Thank you all for joining. Shout out to my guy Antoine, who's in the comment section early, as they say in Philly. Shout out to NVR Bubba. You, what's up, sir? We got an exciting show today. All right, we got nothing but positivity coming out of Ann Arbor, right? Nothing but positivity out of Ann Arbor. Who said 17? I don't know what we're referring to there. Shout out to everybody though in the comment section. Be sure to hit the like button, smash that like button. Make sure you share the live. I've got major news today. I've got a huge announcement to make to the fans of the Maze Madman channel. Major announcement, so major, the fans are going to benefit from this. Shout out to you guys. It wouldn't be possible without you. We're going to talk about that a little later. Make sure you stick around to hear it. Share this live so everybody gets the opportunity to get the same news you got. But let's get into it, what we're going to talk about today. Ryan is not here because he's afraid of the beat down that was going to happen to him today. Obviously, we were playing for blood. People just don't know how big J Step is. Oh, absolutely. We're going to get into that. Antoine. And this also saves us from, over talking about Notre Dame to nauseum, because Ryan was definitely going to have us trying to talk about Notre Dame and what they're going to do and how good they look. Michigan offensive line on Notre Dame. Here we go. Oh my God, I thought we were escaping the Notre Dame. This is insane. 1 second. Unbelievable. Just got some unbelievable news via text message, family there. That guy really thought they was gonna have 17. He did. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Let's get into topic number one. Topic number one, obviously, is Michigan football. Michigan coming off a 30-3 win last week over ECU at home, going into this week at home again, this time against UNLV. We are expecting another beatdown of epic proportions, but this time I want to see more out of the run blocking. Pass pro was great last week. I got to give it up to that. And we got to talk about JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy has taken the next step. He's in total command of the offense. He's calling his own protections. He's calling audibles, hot routes at the line. JJ McCarthy is out here looking like, I'm not going to say Peyton Manning, but he's doing Peyton Manning-esque things by running the offense at the line of scrimmage, and it's a beautiful sight, right? Why is this a big deal? This is obviously a big deal for many reasons, including the fact that people didn't think Michigan could pass the football. Michigan obviously can pass the football effectively. It was no question from people like me, from people like Twan, from everybody in the comment section. We saw JJ do it last year against the other state in that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, otherwise known as the Toilet Bowl. We saw him do it. We saw him do it against TCU. Now, granted, he turned the ball over, but outside of those turnovers, JJ looked great. We know JJ can pass the ball. What's good? What's good? My guy Darbo. What's good, sir? How you doing? Here we go. Dallas fan. That more is for 2022. It's not for 2023. Yeah, you're right. That was 2022. Those were 2022 games I just told you about. But we just saw what JJ did in 2023. There's only 3 quarterbacks in all of college football that have a higher completion percentage than JJ McCarthy. 3. 2 of them have passed for less than like 20 passes, so they don't even count. The other guy, apparently, he just can't miss. He's passed the ball 41 times. He's completing like 93% of his passes. Shout out to him. I think he plays for like UAB. Shout out to him and whatever he's doing down there. He's got a laser on his arm and he can't miss. But JJ McCarthy is completing nearly 90% of his passes after week 1. It is week 1. I get it. 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, all to that guy, that bad man, number 1, Roman Wilson, who's wearing that number 1 with pride, making everybody proud. Hit the like and share button, please. Thank you. It's a different level, JJ. We get also out of, yes, I can't say that. Well, I can say it, whatever. Players to make adjustments. Yes, you're right. Gone are the days where Jim Harbaugh calls in, some power I formation on 3rd and 8, wanting JJ to turn around and hand it to Donovan Edwards for 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's over. Because JJ now has the autonomy, the freedom to go to the line, look at what the defense is offering, and say, you know what? We're going to pass this thing. And he did that effectively. Happy anniversary, Michigan Wolverines. September 6th, 9 years ago, Notre Dame got lucky and won 37-0. Oh, man, the jokes are alive in the chat. Shout out to my guy Goj, who was a fan of the other state, but I rock with this guy. He's a realist. Shout out to him. It's not what JJ did, it's how he did it. Hot routes, play adjustments at the line. Of course, I agree with you 1,000%, Antoine. And even more so than hot routes and play adjustments at the line, it was looking off defenders. It was the Dak Prescott shoulder shimmy to get the defender to come up in the flat and layer the football over his head. JJ was doing everything that a quarterback at his level, should be doing. Shout out to JJ. It was going to be a JJ versus Sam Hartman type of day, but as you know, Ryan skipped out on the show today. He's tired of the constant beat downs that he takes here. Apparently, we're too hard on Ryan here. Ohio State's need wide receiver talent. I'm not sure that's what they need. But we know they're gonna have some wide receiver talent. If they don't do anything else, they're gonna recruit some receivers because that's all they know. They know that very well. What they need though is some receivers. And not receivers, some quarterback play. We've all seen that play. We all saw that play out last week and how it looked. Wasn't great. Got to be honest with you. It was not great. They need to get that under control. Let's move on to the next topic. We're going to talk about my Heisman Trophy favorites after week 1. This is a list that I myself came up with. This is my list. And as Stephen A says, it's fluid. So don't kill the messenger. This is just how I feel. Just my thoughts after week 1. That's all. It could change. That's how fluid this thing is. Next week, it probably will change. It'll be something different next week. Just letting you guys know ahead of time that some people are going to be upset here. All right. But shout out to you guys. Let's start with my number one. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this in ascending order. I'm going to do this in descending order. All right. Just so we get this out the way. Right. M3 times Heisman faves after week 1. M3 times, of course, is me. And number one for me after week 1 is still going to be, and this guy also played week 0, I believe, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams still is the Heisman favorite in my eyes. It can change again. It doesn't have to be Caleb Williams, but at this particular moment, I think Caleb Williams is playing the best football in college football. There's arguments for a couple other guys. As of this moment, though, Caleb Williams has the second most pass yards in the country at 597. He looks every bit like a repeat Heisman Trophy winner. So Caleb Williams is still my number one. He's still completing like 74% of his passes, already has 9 touchdowns. Caleb Williams, number one on the list for me. The picture, for whatever reason, is not showing up. And that's bothersome, but whatever. Hold on. Let's see if we can get it this way. Still nothing. There we go. Caleb Williams. All right. Let me know in the comment section who you think is the number one pick. I see some Shedeur Sanders. I see Shedeur number 1. All right, we're gonna get to that in just a second. We'll get to Shedeur in just a second. But right now, I can't move Caleb Williams. You guys haven't presented a strong enough argument to move Caleb Williams out of the number 1 spot, other than you probably don't like him. And you don't want to see a repeat Heisman Trophy winner, because these arguments of Shedeur just sound like emotion. This is an emotional choice right now. Caleb Williams, like I said, 597 yards, 9 touchdowns, already completing 74% of his passes. He is the Heisman frontrunner. Let's be real. Make sure you hit the like and share button. Share this thing. Let's get the people in here. In just a second, let's say around 6:45, I got breaking news. Huge announcement for the fans of the Maze Madman channel and for the Maze Madman himself. Major news. So make sure you stick around for that. My Heisman favorite number 2. This is going to be the guy in the second spot, and you guessed it, Shedeur Sanders. M3 times Heisman faves after week 1. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders. Nothing really needs to be said here. Shedeur Sanders came straight out of an HBCU where they said, he couldn't do it at the Power 5 level. That's what the narrative was. Not just about him, but about his father, about the way his father went about reconstructing the lineup there. We're not going to dive into that because, people get upset when you bring up the Sanders name for whatever reason. So we're not going to get too crazy into it. But you cannot argue Shedeur Sanders at number 2. And I'll give those guys credit who were calling Shedeur should be number 1 or calling for Shedeur to be number 1 on the list. He is pushing for that number 1 spot. 510 yards. Think about this. 510 yards, 4 touchdowns in his Power 5 debut. Not just he ain't at Jackson State no more. By the way, he never threw for 510 yards at Jackson State. This is the best game he's ever had and it just so happened to be at the Power 5 level against the national championship runner-up from a year ago. Granted, we know they aren't the same team. They're missing some of their best players from last year. They're missing their best players from last year. We understand that. They were still ranked number 17 coming into this ball game. They still were 20.5-point favorites over Colorado. Nobody gave Colorado a chance. Coach Prime Shedeur Sanders and some other guys are the reason that they won that game. Now, Heisman favorite number 3. We're going to get back to my Heisman favorites. And my Heisman favorite number 3, none other than this guy right here, Michael Penix Jr. If you say anything in these comments negative about Michael Penix Jr., I'm blocking you. I'm joking. I'm not going to block you. But Michael Penix Jr., an argument could be made that he's number 2. I'm going to tell you why I respect what Michael Penix Jr. and what Caleb Williams have done even more so than what Shedeur did. Why I respect it. I'm not saying it's better. I just respect what they're doing more because they had expectation, right? Caleb Williams was the Heisman Trophy winner a year ago. People expect Caleb Williams to come have a repeat type performance this season. Michael Penix, I think, led everybody in passing yards or touchdowns. Michael Penix has what people are saying is the best wide receiver group in America. Shots fired, the other state. And he has expectations. Both of these teams were ranked in the top 10 preseason. They have expectations. They're living up to the expectations so far. I got to respect it. So Michael Penix Jr., number 3 for M3 times Heisman faves after week 1. Number 4 on my list. This is my list. Don't get upset at my list. That's going to be none other than this man right here. Travis Hunter, come to the front, sir. Somebody bring Travis Hunter to the front, please. You can't see his face here because I flubbed this one. But let me give you a little bit of what Travis Hunter did. Travis Hunter played 70 possessions on defense, then played 79 possessions on offense. He had 11 receptions for 119 yards and a touchdown. He could have had multiple touchdowns because let's be honest, Travis Hunter dropped at least, I'm going to say, one in a possible touchdowns, right? That could have been 3 touchdowns for Travis, right? Upwards of 12, 13 catches, upwards of 150, pushing 200 yards in his Power 5 debut. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any negativity. I know what people are saying about Dion. I know what they're saying. Excuse me. I got out of my body. What people are saying about Coach Prime. Get used to saying Coach Prime. He deserves it. He earned it. He's a coach. That's Coach Prime. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not just prime time. That's Coach Prime now. Put some respect on his name. But I know the narrative, right? We all know the narrative. People don't like you to be loud and boisterous and say what you're gonna do, then go in and do what you're gonna do. Apparently they want you to lie to them. Lie to me. That's what America wants. I need to look no further than American politics. People like liars. But that's neither here nor there. Travis Hunter walked the walk on both offense and defense. He made the most spectacular play of the entire game, the interception in the red zone. He could easily be number 1. I'm just being honest with you. The thing is, the Heisman Trophy has turned into a quarterback award when it shouldn't be. It's just the best player in college football. We understand that. Travis Hunter plays both offense and defense. He's Charles Woodson-esque. All right. No disrespect to the GOAT, but he's Charles Woodson-esque. All right. And if you disagree, argue with yourself and your mama. We just calling it how it is here. Number 5, the last person on my list. Emphasis on my list for M3 times Heisman faves after week 1. My number 5 guy, the final guy on my top 5, is this man right here. And again, his head is cut off as well. But you guys know who it is. He plays for Florida State. He's the quarterback for Florida State. None other than Jordan Travis. Let me explain why Jordan Travis is getting the final spot on my list. My list. Jordan Travis went out in a primetime game on a day that college football doesn't play college football. Sunday night against the mighty SEC. Brian Kelly and his family, and put a beat down on LSU. All right. Brian Kelly's family couldn't help him. All right. Brian Kelly was out there making Brian Kelly calls. This man had a great drive. I think it was the initial drive of the game. Went right down the field. They're driving. They're going to score on Florida State. I've conceded it, right? I'm okay. I picked Florida State. By the way, I picked Florida State to win this game before the game, but that's neither here nor there. I conceded, though, that Florida State was going to get scored on this drive because, you know, Jalen Daniels looked great. Brian Kelly was calling decent plays. Brian Kelly was doing his thing. They go right down the field. They get to the goal line. 3 straight plays of some questionable stuff. It was questionable. If it worked, it would have been great, but it was questionable play calls. Okay. He calls a timeout on 4th down. This is where I'm like, me not realizing who was coaching the game. Me. I was like, okay, this guy just called timeout. 4th down. This is the play, right? He's going to pull out the for sure, the best goal line play he's got. They going in. Because again, to that point, everything told me LSU was going to score on this drive. I believed. I was a believer. He had me front row in the pews, believing, praying to the ex-touchdown Jesus coach, right? But Brian Kelly calls a timeout. LSU comes out of that timeout, runs some play that my nephew would have ran in his Pop Warner game. Of course they don't score. Of course they don't score. Of course. It's Brian Kelly. Nobody expected that, right? We knew they weren't going to score, right? Y'all watched the game? Anybody watch the game? You didn't expect them to score. No? Of course they weren't going to score. Brian almost had me. Those are my top 5 Heisman. That's my top 5 Heisman list. Number 1, Caleb Williams, because he's the incumbent and he's throwing down. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders, because y'all saw the game. We all saw the game. Number 3, Michael Penix, because he has expectations and he too is throwing down. Number 4, Travis Hunter, because we saw the game. And number 5, Travis Hunter, also because we saw the game and he's a baller. I do have some guys who just missed out on the list because I do want to be fair. And number 5, just outside of my Heisman list, is this guy right here, Drake May, North Carolina quarterback who went and beat the mighty Spencer Rattlers of South Carolina. Rah-rah, still looking like rah-rah. I remember watching that YouTube show. I mean, not YouTube, that Netflix show, QB1, and thinking Spencer Rattler was good. Awkward silence. Maybe he's not good. That being said, Drake May had himself a decent game. He did throw 2 picks. That's why he's outside of my top 5. But I expect him to bounce back. I got some other guys outside of my top 5. And begrudgingly, as much as I didn't want to do this, Sam Hartman, come on down. Sam Hartman right now has Heisman-like numbers. He looks good. Notre Dame's offense is looking good. They are blocking the hell out of people. I will give them that. It started with Navy. They just drove Navy right into the ground. Navy was outweighed significantly. I understand that. But they followed it up the following week with another team that was outweighed significantly in Tennessee State. But this week, no excuses. They're playing North Carolina State. That's a real team. I don't care what anybody says. And if they look the same, you guys got to start making your plans on how you're going to beat Notre Dame. And I'm talking to you, Goj. If you're still in here, any Ohio State fans, listen to me. The other state fans, if you're here, start planning for how you're going to deal with Sam Hartman and Notre Dame, because it's not going to be easy. I promise you that. It's not going to be a walk in the park. My final Heisman hopeful, this guy right here, third best completion percentage in college football, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, layering that thing. It's levels to it, and he was layering that thing. It looked like a wedding cake the way he was layering the football. Shout out to JJ McCarthy, the greatest quarterback on this list, if I must say myself. Call me a homer. That's just my personal opinion. All right. It's 6:42. I'll go ahead and break the exciting news. So I started this channel just under a year ago, right? Later this month, it will be a year. Thank you to everybody who has been with me throughout this journey. When I was echoing in my garage, when my thumbnails were trash. Thank you for sticking with me. One thing I can say is the feedback from the fans has been excellent. You guys made suggestions. I took heed to those suggestions. I listened to them and made the channels, including my background here. This was actually bought by a family member, but I knew people wanted to see a background. We got lighting here. We got a better microphone. We got a better sound situation. That was a suggestion from the fans, by the way. So shout out to you. They wanted to see my face more. I started doing lives. Shout out to you. Right? You guys are really the reason that the channel grew more than anything, because you had suggestions and we listened to them. So I want to get that out the way. Now, with that said, obviously I got the Barstool. It's not Barstool. Excuse me. Bleacher Report, and I will actually be on Bleacher Report app tomorrow. If you don't have the app, download that. I will be on Bleacher Report tomorrow, previewing Michigan versus UNLV at 3:00. But if you can't catch it at 3:00 live, it'll obviously be there for you. So make sure you check that out. Follow me there at Maze Madman, by the way. But that's not the news I was talking about. Michigan great. NFL great. The GOAT. Let me say this again. Michigan great. NFL great. The GOAT. Thomas Edward Brady has a company called Autograph. If you don't know what that is, check it out. It's really into some futuristic things in terms of the internet, Web3. If anybody is familiar with Web3, NFTs, and things like that, blockchains, you know what I'm talking about. But Autograph reached out to me. I will be doing some partnering with Autograph to bring you guys actually some great opportunities. I can't go too much more into it than that, but the fans of Maze Madman, the fans here, I see a lot of the same names. My guy Moose, Antoine, my guy Dom, Darbo. All of you guys are going to benefit the most, because it's going to really be fans that really interact with the channel, whether here or on what we have planned, are going to be the ones that benefit the most. So you're going to want to stick around. I'll have more information as it becomes available and as I'm able to talk about it. But that is the huge announcement that I had. I want to thank you guys all again Shout out to my guy, Crack the Nut. Haven't seen you in a minute, man, but shout out to you. And look who decided to show up for his weekly beatdown.
Hey man, sorry, I have a lot going. I had some personal stuff going on. So
No, I understand. I get it. Thank you, Darbo. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. I just made my announcement. I don't know if you heard it, Ryan.
no, what was the announcement?
Of course you didn't hear it. I'm upset. Shout out to Crack the Nut. I just announced though that I'll be in a partnership with Autograph, which is Tom Brady's company. The GOAT himself will be partnering with yours truly to do something big and special. I'll announce more as more information becomes available though. Ryan, you need to apologize to Coach Prime. Oh yes, Darbo was in there. He didn't. So Ryan, okay, to be fair, Darbo, Ryan did apologize. We did a space. You guys didn't show up to the space. But Ryan did apologize to Coach Prime.
I
what's going on
apologize
with you, man?
3 times, man. 3 times.
Yeah. Coach Prime is the real deal.
Yeah. So for y'all that missed it, I said last week that Colorado was going to get blown out by 21 plus.
Of course, that didn't happen.
It did not happen. I did not think TCU was going to be that porous on defense. But
don't blame it on TCU's porous defense.
Nevertheless, I'm going to give Deion his credit. Congratulations on your first win. You matched the record from the guy that was there before you. That's a huge win, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Deion's the second best coach behind Nick Saban. Or like some people said, like, and this is what I meant. Like, I meant no disrespect on Deion. I don't like the guy's personality, but I didn't think personally, like you could say, because like people were calling him a great coach.
Salute, Crack.
You know what I mean? So like,
I understand. The man got his foot on our neck, Crack. I get it. Got to go to work. I got to go to work myself. But I absolutely, Ryan. You don't need to break it down. We get it, right?
Yeah. But anyway, like I'm just saying, like, great win. But I'm still wait and see. Like, even if Deion would have lost this game, like that doesn't mean he was a bad coach or a good coach. With how that game went Saturday, Colorado very easily could have lost that game. So,
well, I disagree with we don't know if he. Obviously, he can coach. Whether even if it's just in a macro sense of hiring people that in a micro sense can manage, he did that well, right?
Yeah.
So we can dead that though. I mean, this isn't a Colorado channel. I'm not trying to turn this into a Colorado channel.
But nevertheless, he gave congratulations, Deion. Right. Let's see what you guys do moving forward. Coach Prime, yeah.
Right. I was playing. He was a great player. Absolutely. Okay, so Ryan, I just gave my Heisman faves top 5, and some and the hopefuls, 3 hopefuls. The 3 hopefuls, just so you know, were Drake May, Sam Hartman, JJ McCarthy. Those are the guys that just missed my list. What are your top 5?
So my top 5, I've got number 1 is Caleb Williams still.
Number 1, Caleb Williams. That was my number 1 as well. Caleb Williams. You guys see him there. Caleb Williams, Ryan's number 1.
Until it's not the same thing with like Georgia. And I don't know if you saw, but like the AP poll came out, people bitching about
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna talk about the AP poll too.
But yeah, people say, oh well, Georgia shouldn't be number 1 because they struggled against UT Martin, whatever. Anyway, Caleb Williams until proven otherwise, until he plays like an actual opponent, and doesn't play well.
Right.
He's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I wanted to have Marvin Harrison like in this list, but after the performance he had against Indiana, I just can't do that. So
the people need to see this. Hold on. 2 receptions, 18 yards. Wah, wah.
So
Go
number
ahead.
2,
Who's your number 2?
Michael Penix. I
Michael
got Michael
Penix.
Penix.
He
Dude,
was my
like
number 3.
he came out there against Boise State. Boise State is not. Boise. Let's be real. Boise State is not what they used to right now. What they used to be.
Right?
But Boise State is still a pretty solid team. Boise State's probably the best team that any of the top 10 teams besides Florida State and LSU had played all weekend. So, yeah, I think that that offense. I don't know if you watched that game, Phil.
Yeah.
That Washington offense is going to be insane.
It is. No, it is. I spoke on that too. He was my number 3, by the way. Michael Penix. I had him number 3. I had Shador number 2, but I'll let you continue the list. But you're right, and I said the same thing. He looks the part, and the reason I respect him and Caleb Williams and what they're doing even more than what Shador did is because they got expectations.
For sure. And so my number 3, I got Jordan Travis.
Okay.
Jordan Travis had
number 5.
Yeah, Jordan Travis had his first Heisman moment.
Yeah.
He was the only quarterback in the top 10 that played another top 10 ranked opponent. And absolutely, him and Keon Coleman did their thing and absolutely torched LSU secondary.
JJ top 5. JJ gonna be number 1 after this week. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I got Jordan Travis there. I think by far he's played the toughest competition of anybody on this list so far, and was very impressive. But I still want to see some more from Travis. Number 4.
Number four.
This pains me. I got Shador Sanders.
Shador Sanders.
So yeah, anytime you throw for 500 yards in your first game against a top ranked team, or not a top ranked team, but a ranked team in general,
right?
You get yours. So Shador's number 4 for me. Like I said, it's kind of the same thing with his dad. I just want to wait and see. I want to see how they play.
Yo,
when he faces.
If I had a second team, it would be FSU, but that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
I just want to see what does Shador do when he plays a team like Oregon, who is actually very improved defensively this year.
Mm-hmm.
What is he going to do when he faces Washington? USC don't matter. He might have 700 yards against USC. But yeah, and then for number 5, I got Bo Nix. I got Bo Nix in my top 5.
Who I don't have he's the only person I don't have a graphic of, and I forgot about Bo Nix, and he deserves Bo Nix. By the way, if it's just on sheer numbers, he's gonna be up there because they just beat somebody 81-7.
Yep.
81-7. He dropped 81 points on some hapless team out there. Shout out to Kobe Bryant in the year of 2K24, the special Kobe Bryant edition. Oregon dropped the Kobe Bryant edition ass whooping on whoever they played. 81.
They saw Portland State and they're like, you ain't gonna do this today. This is not the day. But no, Bo Nix, I can see why people would be like, well, maybe Bo Nix shouldn't be there because he didn't play anybody. You could say that about pretty much everyone on this list. But he did what he was supposed to against an inferior opponent. And Bo Nix was on my preseason top 5. So how I also look at it is, what has he done to get dropped? Nothing. But yeah, so those are my top 5. Now you said hopefuls?
Yeah, 3 hopefuls.
My number 1 hopeful, who would be in the 6th slot, Sam Hartman.
Okay. He was number 7 for me. Sam Hartman. This is him. You trust me, that's him. He just cut off because StreamYard is
garbage.
Yeah.
No, I got Sam Hartman. I know, again, inferior comp, played Navy, had 4 touchdown passes, almost 300 yards passing against Navy. You know what? It's an insane stat. He is the only quarterback in college football that has scored a touchdown on 90% of their drives, or on over 90% of their drives through so far this season.
Yeah.
He's
I actually
11
spoke
out of
about them. They
12.
look good.
He's 11 out of 12, Phil, which is like, I know people will be like, well, you know, that, like I said, it's Navy, Tennessee State, but people got to understand. Tyler Buckner couldn't do that against Marshall. Drew Pine couldn't do that against Stanford. So, yeah, it's Navy and Tennessee State, but even so, like, that's still impressive because even like, for example, and this isn't like a shot at Michigan, but like Michigan plays East Carolina.
Yeah.
Like Michigan played East Carolina. Like if Michigan scored 11, like if they had 11 touchdown drives out of 12, that is super impressive. I don't care if Michigan's playing Mercer for all I care. Like that is still really impressive for a team to do.
He's not throwing 90%. That's JJ. He's saying he scored the night they have their scoring drives.
Yeah, so yeah, he scored on over 90% of scoring drives. Only quarterback college football to do that. But and then moving on, I got JJ McCarthy right there with him.
Thank you.
JJ
Thank
did
you
his
very
thing.
much.
JJ did his freaking thing against
Only
East
3
Carolina.
quarterbacks in college football with higher completion percentage than JJ McCarthy after week 1.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened. Clearly, they don't want JJ to shine. There we go. Look at him. Free hardball, by the way. Of course, free hardball in the comment section.
Yes.
Free hardball. Tell them they free hardball.
StreamYard has an anti-Michigan propaganda going on. I don't know what's going on, Phil.
Michigan propaganda. Yeah, it's free hardball today. Free hardball. We got sounding like somebody baby mama out here, whose baby father in jail. Free hardball till it's the other way.
You think Jim Harbaugh got a cheeseburger on a suspension?
He innocent. He didn't do nothing they said he did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You think Jim Harbaugh got a good ass cheeseburger since he's been on this suspension?
I hope Jim Harbaugh had his feet up on a Ryan Day upholstered freaking lazy boy where Ryan Day's face is right at Jim's feet with the biggest cheeseburger he could find watching the games.
You know, like one of those big monster ones where like the meat's falling off the back.
Exactly. Yeah. Right onto a plate that says F the NCAA. All right, Ryan, let's get into we got to move on. No, we got to move on. We just both of us, you got our Heisman favorites. We got you guys as Heisman favorites in the comment section. Shout out to you guys for keeping it strong. Make sure you
real quick.
Live.
I wanted to I have one more.
Okay.
And this is just kind of honorable mention. I know the stats didn't look real good, but I also kind of attribute that to Clemson's defense. Riley Leonard is my number 8 guy, the quarterback for Duke.
Dude, I also don't have a graphic for.
Like that dude needs to get his flowers, man. Did you see that run? Where he looked like young Tim Tebow out there with that run.
So let's get into it. I know Crack brought this up. Let's get into some week 2 stuff really fast.
Yep.
I think the biggest game on the slate week 2 is obviously Texas and Alabama, right? No bigger game than that this week.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Is Texas back yet? Still?
Is Texas back?
Yet?
In the comment section, who we got winning this one? Texas or Bama? Drop it in the comment section. Who we got winning this one? Ryan, what's your thoughts?
So obviously Texas fans, and the only reason, let's be honest here, Texas is the only reason they're a top 12 team heading into this season is not because of anything they did last year, with the exception of almost beating Bama. if that game against Bama last year was a blowout and Texas still had the same record and everything, nobody would be talking about Texas. But however, Alabama is still trying to figure out their quarterback situation. I know Jalen Milroe looked really good against Middle Tennessee State.
Okay.
Not even Miami, Florida could look good against Middle Tennessee State. But Tyler Buckner is the second string over there. So he basically left Notre Dame to go be the backup at Alabama. But yeah, man, like I think Texas, it all depends on the play of Quinn Ewers. It really does. And I don't know, man, because this is different. Playing at home at Longhorn Stadium and then going on the road to Tuscaloosa, that's going to be a tough task, man.
Right. Yeah. So, and I think that's something that people aren't thinking about, right? They have to go to Tuscaloosa to play this one. It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna go with Alabama. We got some people. A couple people have picked Texas to win this one. John Mitchell, I believe, picked Texas 34-21. Yep. The Golden Playbook has Texas pulling off the upset over Bama. My guy Moose being reasonable here. Texas 21, Bama 31. What you think the final score is, Ryan?
So believe it or not, this year I don't think it's going to be all that close. And when I say all that close, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be a competitive game. But I think it's one of those games where, it's a close game in the first half. And then in the second half, the game's never really in doubt. Like it'll be like a 7 or 10 point game the entire game. But Alabama, it won't feel like Alabama really ever had a chance to lose this game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm taking the Tide. I trust Nick Saban at home.
Right.
Just giving him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, let me ask you this. You trust Milroe more than Quinn Ewers?
No. And I don't really trust Quinn Ewers because Quinn Ewers is not. It's weird because I don't know if his injury from that Alabama game is still bothering him. But even against Rice, he did not look all that impressive. I don't know if you kept up with that game. It was 16-13 against Rice last week, going into halftime for Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because Quinn Ewers has not looked like the superstar quarterback. Like he's looked good, but he hasn't looked like that elite quarterback he looked like last year against Alabama since his injury.
Right. He's still got weapons. Xavier Worthy over there.
Yep.
Who is, if anybody can take the top off of defense, is Xavier Worthy, who should be a Wolverine, but we're not going to get into that. As Josh Gaddis, hide your mothers around Josh Gaddis. I can't believe that. But yeah, so a lot of people more people picking Texas than I would have thought. I'm gonna go ahead and err on the side of my brain and not my heart. I'm gonna go with Bama. I think they win by 2 scores. I
feel like your heart should want Texas not to win because outside of the other state fans, Texas fans, if they win this game,
oh yeah, they're gonna be unruly. It's gonna be unbearable.
Yeah,
Quinn
exactly.
Ewers throwing for 350. Quinn Ewers might throw for 350, and they might still be blown out by multiple scores. Gaddis was slinging me. Yeah. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go final score. Give me 38-24 final score.
Yeah, I actually have the same kind of score.
Yeah.
But I got 38-27 Bama.
Notre Dame fans ain't much better.
Hey, you know what? We were the ones that started the
When
whole
that man
Texas is
tells the
back
truth,
thing,
he tells the truth.
Phil.
You said what?
Notre Dame fans are the ones to blame for starting the whole Texas is back, folks statement
Oh, did they beat you guys?
in 2016. Remember, we were a top 9,
Right,
top 10 team, and we went
right.
to Texas, and
Got
that
a
year they
stamp.
went 4-8, and they beat us. So yeah, that's where that meme came from, where they like Texas is back, folks.
Right.
No, you're not.
All right. This week, Notre Dame plays North Carolina State. Ryan, give us a little preview on that.
So I'm actually worried about this game, believe it or not.
Apparently, oh, there we go.
Not because I'm actually kind of worried about this game, not because I don't think Notre Dame's the superior team, but it's on the road at Carter Finley. And for people who don't know, North Carolina State last year, until I believe was it the Florida State game, had the longest active home win streak in college football. It is hard to win at NC State. I believe there was some crazy stat where North Carolina State has only lost 5 times at home the last 7 years. So they don't lose at home very often. And another thing that worries me is they know Sam Hartman. North Carolina State, and this is another weird stat. Sam Hartman is 1-2 against NC State. That is the only team in the ACC that he has a losing record against, besides Clemson.
So Ryan, I sent my pick'ems. You saw this pick'em.
Who did you remind me again? Who did you take?
I took North Carolina State. I did that more so just to mess with you though. But I was unaware that Sam Hartman has a tough time beating North Carolina State. This is interesting. The plot thickens.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what it is. It's just and I looked at every time Sam Hartman plays North Carolina State, it's just thank you, Moose. I wish I was as confident as Moose. And also it scares me because Vegas still has this game as minus Notre Dame minus 7.5. And if you watched the NC State UConn game, right, Phil?
Yes.
NC State did not look good against UConn.
UConn just is improved.
But UConn averaged six yards a carry against North Carolina State.
Right.
Now, what do you think Notre Dame will do running the football against North Carolina State if they're giving up 6 yards a carry to UConn?
That's a good point. Notre Dame does have a good stable of running backs. The offensive line.
My thought process going into this game is let's just get a dub. Let's get a win. It's on the road. It's a huge trap game. We got Ohio State in a couple weeks. I don't want to do anything fancy. I'm not in the mood to for Sam Hartman to try to throw the ball 30 plus times and get 5-6 touchdown passes. I want to just go to NC State, run the ball down their throat, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Things to happen.
No, I just want to get the hell out of NC State with a win. I don't care if we win by a point. I just want to get out of NC State with a win at all costs.
He's like, I hope things don't happen. Well, at Michigan, we wish.
Oh, stop it.
Notre Dame, you guys hope. Michigan wishes. We wish UNLV would show up to the big house thinking they got a chance.
Hey, man, if you were going to NC State, you'd be worried too. No, man,
Michigan, we can't. Lion don't care. The lion don't care what the sheep doing. NC State is sheep. Michigan, we out here hunting big game. You hear me? Big game.
Let,
We
let
need
me ask you this, Phil.
Bulldogs, Tide. I would say Buckeyes, but apparently
They're struggling to beat
that's not
Indiana
big
right
game.
now.
Yeah.
See, like, you know how I'm talking right now? Like, about, just trying to go to NC State and get a win. That's how Ohio State went into that Indiana game, according to Ryan Day. Did you see his comments, by the way? About it, the reason that the offense looked so bad is because it was, quote, vanilla play calling, because they just wanted to get out of Indiana with a win.
Yeah. Ryan Day, look, I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna break down Ryan Day really fast. Ryan Day, since the day that Jim Harbaugh said some people were born on third base and think they hit a home run, has not been the same. Especially, which, by the way, that came right after Michigan put a beat down on them in Ann Arbor, right?
Mm.
Some people were born on third base and think they hit a home run because he was handed the keys to the Lambo, right? He had this Lamborghini of a football team in terms of the talent. And somebody just gave him the keys after it ran out of gas. The car ran out of gas. They was like, oh, this is no good. Here are the keys. You gas it up, it's yours, right? And Ryan Day has mismanaged. He hasn't gotten an oil change for this Lamborghini. He needs a tire rotation. All right. They need. Do Lamborghinis even have spark plugs? He needs spark plugs. He needs a tune-up. All right.
Can we ask why you are that scared of Indiana that you're only running vanilla offense?
He's not scared of Indiana. It's not about Indiana. It's about the quarterbacks. He doesn't have a quarterback. Ryan Day.
What do you think? What do you feel? What do you think happens if they run that vanilla offense against Penn State or Michigan or Notre Dame? They're gonna get absolutely eaten alive.
He needs a whole new alignment. Thank you, Moose. Yeah, that thing. He needs to change the timing belt. I don't even know. I'm sure.
Nah, man, he needs a whole new frame. That's what he needs.
Who knows? Do Lamborghinis have timing belts? In the comment section, anybody that can answer that.
Yeah, overall.
The point is, that's the point, though. That's the point. He's turned this Lamborghini into like a 78 deuce and a quarter. The Lamborghini ain't a Lamborghini no more. It's a
hey man, chill. That
88.
That Western Kentucky game looking real scary, man.
Western Kentucky about to give them all kind of fits. OSU blames the weather all the time. They make us OSU. In addition to thank you for bringing that up, Golden. In addition to blaming the weather, OSU against Indiana blamed the time. The time is going too quick. Lamborghinis don't drive good on ice. Apparently, they don't drive good in 68 pristine weather either. 68 degree pristine weather in Columbus.
My favorite
they're not good in Columbus or Ann Arbor.
My favorite excuse from the Indiana game was, well, we played bad because we have a first-year starting quarterback on the road against a Big Ten opponent.
Yeah, Ryan Day is a joke.
JJ McCarthy would never, right, Phil? In his first career start against Alabama,
would never. And
yeah, JJ McCarthy. What would JJ McCarthy do against Indiana if it was his first career start?
300 yards, 4 touchdowns, easy. But when the other state hops on their charter bus, however they travel to Ann Arbor this year,
he about to get this work. Hold up. He gonna get this work. He gonna get this work.
He gonna get this work. Shout out to the great poet.
Yeah, Antoine. Pull that comment up by Antoine. He said, because I remember I told you that they blamed that game because it was too hot.
Yeah. So it can be too cold, it can be too hot. They need it. Look, and it doesn't even matter because when we beat them in Columbus last season, it was pristine conditions. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was a perfect fall day. 60 degrees. Perfect. I don't know what they need to win.
They need to just play in a dome, Phil.
Sideline hash marks were too wide. They have all kinds of excuses, man. But look, Michigan plays UNLV this upcoming week, guys. Let's do some score predictions. Let's say what do we want to see improve from Michigan offensively, defensively? I'll go ahead and go first. I think obviously on offense we want to see the run game work better than it did against ECU. I'm not worried about it. We'd still have 2 All-Americans in the backfield. We still have the 3-time Joe Moore award-winning offensive line that was pieced together last week. This week, the offensive line coach / offensive coordinator is back. Shout out to Sharon Moore. I don't think people talked about that enough last week. He was not there along with Jim Harbaugh. They were each having a Harbaugh burger together last week. So he is back this week. So that should make a difference, especially with that offensive line. Bless you. I am predicting that Michigan runs the football for over 200 yards. I'm predicting that Michigan passes the football for over 250 yards. It's going to be a well-balanced thing. Michigan wins this game. I'm going to go 52-3 because teams like to kick field goals just so they feel good about themselves. So I'll give UNLV 3 points. 3, like bruh, man.
3 points.
Fifth flow. 3 points.
So you'll join Notre Dame as the only other team in college football to only give up 3 points or 6 points in 2 games.
250, 300 rushing. I could see it. Yeah. We might not give up any points. Look, Moose said 56 donut.
I was
Jeremy
disappointed
Thor,
though,
58
Phil.
donut. I could see it.
I was disappointed in your Wolverines this past weekend. Like, I know like a win's a win, but I felt like you guys you guys were up 27-3 at halftime, right?
Right. 27-0.
Now, I didn't watch the entire game. Did you guys pull JJ at halftime?
It wasn't 27. I'm sorry, 23-0. We pulled JJ after the third quarter.
Okay. I was kind of surprised you guys didn't, not a bad thing, but I'm surprised you guys didn't drop more points on ECU.
Right.
You guys probably could have beaten them and probably should have beaten them 49-3, but that's where I'm because did you guys run a lot against ECU? Run the ball a lot?
Not too much, especially in the first half. We didn't run it too much, but ECU did a decent job stop and run. To that point, Michigan ran at a clip of only 3.9 yards per carry. So ECU made it a point that they were going to stop the run. They were blitzing, gaps. They had decent gap control. So they had a game plan in place. They did okay with it.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give my score prediction because UNLV is straight dog doo-doo.
Yeah.
I think Michigan wins 45-3. I'll give them 3 points because they'll probably try to kick a field goal late.
Right.
Just to get on the board. But yeah, 45-3.
I don't know why teams do that, man. Yeah, go for the touchdown. Michigan left the 2022 offensive line in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Pass pro was excellent, by the way. It was just the run blocking that was.
How was Blake Corum looking? Did he look good coming off his injury?
Hey, so some Michigan fans got mad at me with my immediate reaction video where I said Blake Corum wasn't as shifty as we're used to seeing him. Especially like he had some open field one-on-one opportunities where he got tackled, and that usually doesn't happen. But it's his first game back, so I expect this in rust. So I do think he'll get sharper as the season progresses.
I know there were like some reports that Michigan was going to be kind of cautious with him this year. Did that kind of seem like it was evident to you? Like,
Oh,
did
good one, Cuff.
Donovan Edwards get like the bulk of the carries against ECU?
No. In fact, I think Blake might have run more than Donovan, at least in the first half. If memory serves me more, Blake had 2 big runs. Yeah, he had a couple, 73 yards on 10 carries for Blake. So he only had 10 carries, 73 yards. So he averaged 7.3 a carry, but one of those was a big one. So it was a little different. It's that 10 for 73 is a little deceiving, but yeah. I want to address this really fast, Ryan, with Jason Acuff's question here, because I'm upset. Brian Robinson has been playing with Michigan for the better part of a year now. It was a lock. Michigan was a lock to land Brian Robinson. He's the edge rusher out of Ohio, by the way, for those who don't know. A 4-star edge rusher out of the state of Ohio. He was a lock, and this is way back. This is early spring, right? It's over. Michigan's going to land Brian Robinson. I'm sorry, before the spring. It's over. But Brian Robinson did not commit to Michigan. Everybody thought he was going to commit during his official visit. He came. He didn't commit. Now he has been pictured with the Smith twins at Kentucky this past weekend, which makes me not happy. Let me say that.
2 flips and a commit.
If Kentucky pulls this off, then Michigan has to put Kentucky on the schedule. I don't care whatever. I would if Kentucky pulls this off, I would trade the Texas game for Kentucky. Because they gotta understand something. This
isn't basketball, right, Phil? This isn't basketball.
This is not basketball. This is not basketball at all. They're gonna learn a lesson today. They're gonna learn today. If they pull this off, I'm gonna be highly upset. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, man. We've been on now for a minute. I've been burning you guys' ears up for a minute. Make sure you follow me everywhere at Maze Madman. Follow my guy Ryan Fravel at Fravel_Ryan on Twitter. Be sure to check out Week 0. They do great work over there. I say that every time, and I look at their subscriber list, and it's still at 200. Well, they just got to 200, but it's at 200. We should get them 100 subscribers today. Leave here, go right there, hit the subscribe button. That's the point. Anyway, until next time, Ryan, you got something?
Yeah, man. Just like for everyone who's watching, tune in tomorrow night. We'll be doing the pick'ems. Phil might be joining us. So yeah, for all those Maze crazies out there, we'll be doing our Week 2 predictions, pick'ems, and preview tomorrow. So yeah, tune in.
Yes, is the answer, Golden. Yeah. Till next time, stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.